Lever Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap with the exclusive super creamed blend, presents...
Our friend Swan.
With my friend Irma.
Starring Mary Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
You know, it's tough enough to be the private secretary of an important investment broker with the stock market as it is today. And it's maddening enough to go from Wall Street home to West 73rd Street on that murderous subway. But that is comparative ecstasy to what greets me when I open the door to our apartment and see my beloved roommate, Irma Peterson, standing in the room with a bottle of whiskey in her hand, pouring it on the geraniums. So I say, Irma, why would you pour whiskey on the geraniums? And Irma said,
Jane, the florist said flowers live longer if they're potted.
Normally, a remark like that from Irma is enough to make someone not only go off the wagon, but throw themselves under it. But that's Irma for you, and I love her.
Jane, you seem worried. What's the matter?
Oh, everything's been so hectic down at the office with Richard away.
Where'd he go, Jane?
Oh, well, honey, he's gone to Nebraska on business.
Oh. Jane, what shall we have for dinner tonight? A big juicy steak or a can of sardines? What do you think, Jane? Jane, you're not listening to me.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I guess my mind was in Nebraska.
Well, at least you know where it is. My boss says I've lost mine. Jane, why did Richard go to Nebraska?
Well, honey, he's an investment broker, and with the market the way it is, he wants to get some first-hand information on the availability of farm machinery, you know. You see, Nebraska is the center of the wheat belt, the wheat fields, and the grain elevators.
Oh, they keep the grain in elevators? No wonder the market keeps going up and down.
No, sweetie, it's not that kind of an elevator. Irma, you ought to know about grain. You were born on a farm in Minnesota.
Well, ours was a dairy farm. We just had cows. Jerseys and Holsteins and Guernseys. I remember I always wanted my father to buy a Swiss cow because I loved that cheese with the holes in it.
Yeah, honey. You probably wanted to keep a cow in a small bungalow so you could have cottage cheese. Hello? Long distance? Yes, operator. This is Jane Stacy. What? Nebraska calling? Thank you. Irma, it's Richard. He's calling me from Nebraska.
Nebraska? Oh, gee, what a wonderful state. The home of the Idaho potato.
Irma, please. Hello, Richard. Oh, yes, it's nice to hear your voice, too. What? Howard Teichman. Yeah, of course I know him. He's one of your best clients. He's on his yacht, anchored in Long Island Sound, and you can't reach him. Well, what do you want me to do? Will you please get off the line? No, not you, Richard. No, it's the other party on my line. They're always cutting in. We have a party line. Yeah. Now, what were you saying? What? Oh, lady, please. I'm talking long distance. I can't help it if your teeth fell down the drain. I was on the phone first. Just a second, Richard. I better write it down. Irma, get a pencil. Take this down, huh?
All right, Jane.
Go ahead, Richard. Go ahead. What's that? You'll call me back at 7 o'clock tonight to tell me whether Mr. Teichman is to buy or sell farm machinery. Yeah? Oh, yes, I know how important it is, Richard. Well, don't worry, dear. I'll get to him on his yacht if I have to swim out to him and back. Oh, I sure do. I certainly miss you. No, not you, lady. Oh, Richard, I'd better hang up. This party line's just driving me crazy. I'll be waiting for your call at 7. Bye. Oh, honestly, these party lines. I might as well try to carry on a conversation in Madison Square Garden. It's really beyond endurance. Irma, we've got to get a private line.
Well, Al says it's very hard to get a new phone today. He says they won't give you one unless you're a bookie.
Al is ridiculous. There must be some way we can get a private line. Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin.
Hello, Janie and Irma, my two little rabbits. One a little Easter bunny, the other a little Bugs bunny.
Why, Professor.
Excuse me, a little joke I thought up for the coming holidays. Girls, do you mind if I use your telephone?
Not at all.
I would use the payphone downstairs, but Al has put so many slugs in it that I'm afraid when I lift up the receiver, a voice will say, "This is your FBI."
Well, you're welcome to use ours, Professor, but we have a party line, so there's always somebody cutting in.
Well, I'll take a chance. I'm calling my old friend, Eli.
Well, Professor, why don't you ask Miss O'Reilly to put a phone in your room?
In my room, it's impossible. No wall in the entire room is strong enough to hang the box on. Hello, Eli. This is Kropotkin. Yes, your old friend from the Milwaukee Symphony. You're glad to hear from me? Well, it's always nice when old friends get together. Wait a minute, Eli. Lady, get off the phone. Can't you see we're talking? So tell me, Eli, how's everything with you? Huh? Hold it. Lady, please, I'm trying to talk with my old friend. Go ahead, Eli. What, lady? Just a minute. You like my voice, lady? Eli, keep still. The lady is talking. What, lady? Well, thank you. I like your voice, too. Eli, please get off the line. Go ahead, lady. I think you hung up. Now, what are you saying? Tonight? I don't know. What time? Eli, is that you again? For goodness sakes, get up. This is not Eli. This is the lady's husband. Sorry, wrong number. Jenny, you're right. These party lines are terrible. Everybody's always butting in.
I know. What can I do about it? Richard's going to call me on an important business matter from Nebraska tonight at 7, and I'm just terrified that he won't be able to get through.
Well, girls, if you want to get your service changed, you got to know somebody important. Who do you know?
Well, I know Al.
Irma, darling, that will change the service. Your telephone wires will be tapped.
Then what can we do?
Girls, these are your own problems. Me, I've got my own problems with my income tax.
Yeah, living alone, you haven't any dependents.
The only dependent I got is my ceiling.
You put down your ceiling as a dependent?
Certainly. Whenever I'm in my room, I have to support it. Goodbye, girls.
Oh, Irma, I don't know what to do.
Oh, you're worried, Jane, huh?
Well, certainly I'm worried, honey. If our telephone is tied up tonight when Richard tries to call me, he may lose one of his biggest clients.
Oh, don't worry, Jane. I'll take the receiver off the hook so nobody can use it.
No, Irma, no. Come in.
Hello, Jane. Hi, chicken.
Hello, Al, honey. Gee, Al, are you growing a mustache?
Oh, no. This all comes from using the slug at the automat.
What do you mean, Al?
Well, it was eating blackberry pie and could only get the slot half open. Chicken, I've been trying to get you on the phone all day. Who you been talking to?
I wasn't talking, Al. We're on a party line, you know.
Oh, I hate them party lines, chicken. When I call you up on the phone and throw you a kiss, I want to know who's catching it. Besides, I've been trying to get you all day to tell you about my latest deal.
Oh, that's the only time I'm glad the line was busy. What is your latest brainstorm, Al? Painting numbers on piano stools and selling them for roulette wheels?
This is one Joe is backing. Must make a fortune.
Well, what is it, Al, honey?
It's a man's suit designed to look like a pair of pajamas. So if the watchman catches you in a store after it's closed, you can tell him you walk in your sleep.
Gee, Jane, isn't Al dynamite?
Yes, and someday someone's going to put a fuse under him and blow him right out of that unemployment line. Well, as much as I hate to miss this priceless dialogue, I'm going to go down to the telephone company and see if I can get a private line. Goodbye, kids.
Why does she want a private line?
Well, our phone is always busy, and Jen is especially worried because tonight she's expecting an important business call from Richard in Nebraska.
Well, chicken, she ain't got a chance to get a private phone.
Well, why not, Al?
Doesn't know the angles. When you're dealing with a big corporation, you gotta throw your weight around. Threaten them.
How, Al?
Chicken, if you want to know how to deal with a telephone company, there's only one man who can help us.
Who, Al?
Who else but... Hello, Joe. Got a problem. Irma is having a little trouble with her telephone. Understand you know a couple of collectors with the company. Yeah, you know, those guys who go around taking the money out of the pay stations. Huh? They don't work for the company, they work for you. Well, Joe, how did you get your phone? You told him you were in business. Ventilating? What do you mean? Oh, you open second-story windows. Well, the business angle gives me a thought. Thanks for the lead, Joe. I'll take it from there. Come on, Chicken. We're off to the telephone company.
Well, Miss Stacy, let me see. Your phone number is Hilltop 5829.
Yes, that's right.
Now, the telephone company understands your problem and would like to give you a private wire, but we're short of equipment.
Oh, no.
Of course, if it was an emergency, a case of illness...
Well, you see, I live with Irma Peterson.
Oh, is there anything wrong with Miss Peterson?
You have no idea. I mean, she isn't quite right. I mean...
I know. It's hard to talk about things like that. Sickness is something we must all bear at one time or another.
Yes. Then you'll try to help us, Mr. Ritterhoff?
Certainly. We'd be delighted to do anything that would get Miss Peterson back to normal.
Thank you, Mr. Ritterhoff. Goodbye.
Well, Chicken, here we are. Telephone company. Let's go in. The man you have to see is Mr. Ritterhoff.
But, Al, I don't know what to tell him.
Oh, just tell him you're in business. But with people breaking in on your telephone line, the customers get mad and hang up. As a result, your business is dropping off. Got it?
Got it.
Let's have it back once just to play safe.
Well, I'm in business hanging customers, but with people breaking the line, my customers drop off.
Hold it, Chicken. Just take your time. Come on.
Yes, folks, what can I do for you?
I'd like to have a private line.
Mm-hmm. What's your telephone number?
A Hilltop 5829.
Hilltop 5829. Are you by any chance Irma Peterson?
Yes, I'm Irma Peterson, and I'd like to have a private line right away, please.
Do you live with Miss Jane Stacy?
Yes. Why?
I thought you were sick.
That's ridiculous. I never felt better in my life.
Oh.
You see, Mr. Ritterhoff, Miss Peterson here is in business.
I see. What kind of business?
She's a mannequin.
That's right. I do impersonation.
No,
What's going on here?
Mr. Ritterhoff, I may not weigh much, but I'd like to throw my weight around.
I beg your pardon?
Either you give us a private line or we take our business elsewhere.
Well, miss, that's the way you want it. The telephone company doesn't want to stand in the way of a great impersonator. You may consider your telephone disconnected as of now. The reason? Misrepresentation. Good day.
Well, didn't I tell him?
Tell him. Chicken, they're taking the phone out. Now, how will Richard be able to talk to Jane at 7?
Well, Al, I'm not a genius. I can't solve everybody's problems at once.
You know, ladies, you can tell Swan differs from other soaps just by feeling a cake of Swan. It feels smoother. As Susie Swan says,
Swan is really different. The feel of Swan will tell you in a minute. Just feel a cake of Swan and you will see that Swan is different as can be. The reason, friend, it's super cream blend, says Susie.
yes, only Swan has this exclusive super creamed blend. The blend that makes Swan differ from other soaps. You can feel the difference when you run your fingers over a cake of Swan. It feels smoother. You can feel the difference in Swan's lather. It's creamier, richer, more abundant. That's why Swan does an extra mild, extra thorough cleansing job on your skin. Yes, thanks to Swan's exclusive super creamed blend, Swan lather cleanses so gently, rinses away so thoroughly, that your skin looks smoother, fresher, younger. Remember, the Swan look is a young look.
Well, it's almost 7, and I'm waiting here by the phone for Richard's call from Nebraska. Al and Irma are both here, and I don't like the way they're acting. Especially Irma. She has that same expression she had on her face the day she sold my leopard coat for $1 because the man told her that leopards were often known to turn on their masters. Irma.
Yes, Jane?
You're acting very strangely. There's something wrong?
No, Jane.
Why are you so silent?
Well, you know, Jane, silence is golden.
Yes?
And we want to save up so we can get married.
Well, whatever the two of you are up to, when Richard calls, I don't want any talking.
Don't worry, you won't hear a sound.
Chicken. Of course we'll be quiet, Jane. We realize how important this call is.
Yeah, just so you know, Al. Well, I guess I'll go in the bathroom and wash up. You call me, honey, if the phone rings.
Gee, Al, what shall we do? I wonder if they cut the phone off yet.
Chicken, don't use the word phone. Jane might hear. Refer to it as Louis. I'll know what you mean.
All right, Al. Al, will you lift Louis's head up and see if he's still alive?
Just what I intended to do, Chicken.
Al, I told you to stay off the phone.
Only be a second. Hello? What, Sam? You don't say. Oh, that's too bad. Goodbye.
Al, how is Louis?
Chicken, prepare yourself for a shock. Louis is dead. You'll never hear his golden voice again.
Oh, Al, what'll we do?
Irma, who is this Louis?
Just an old friend. Go back to your washing, Jane.
Well, all right, Al, but stay off the phone now. Call me if it rings.
Oh, Al, now Jane will find out the phone is disconnected. Maybe I ought to tell her.
No, Chicken, that phone has a long cord. She'll strangle the two of us. Got to resort to what is known in the trade as a fast shuffle.
What do you mean, Al?
We'll ring the alarm clock, you grab the phone, and pretend you're talking to Richard. When Jane comes out, you hang up and give her the message.
Gee, Al, are we doing the right thing?
Can't tell till we see how it turns out.
But Richard is to tell Jane whether Mr. Teichman should buy or sell. What shall I say?
Either one, Chicken. Can't stop to become financial experts when our lives hang in the balance. Here goes the alarm clock.
Hello?
What was that?
Just the phone ringing. What? Richard? Yes, Richard.
Richard, Irma, give me the phone.
All right, Richard. Goodbye, Richard.
Irma, what's the matter with you? Why didn't you let me talk to him?
He was in a hurry. It was his last nickel. But he gave me a message.
Chicken,
Richard gave you the message for Mr. Teichman?
Yes.
Gee, that's strange. Well, tell me, was Mr. Teichman to buy or to sell?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, he wants Mr. Teichman to sell.
Are you positive?
Of course I'm positive. Sell. S-E-L.
Yeah. Well, if that's his message, I better get over to Mr. Teichman. Hand me the phone, Al. I'll call a cab.
we'll do it for you, Jane. How do you like that? This darn party line is always busy.
Oh, dear. Well, I'll get a cab downstairs. That party line. Thank heavens we won't have to put up with this phone much longer.
You can say that again.
Well, Chicken, are you a little proud of the way I got us out of that spot?
Oh, but Al, Jane will try the phone sooner or later.
Well, what can we do?
But maybe I can snip the cord with a pair of scissors. Then I can tell Jane the operator is cut off.
No, Chicken.
Oh, maybe we can hang it out of the window. Jane always wanted an extension phone.
Forget it, Chicken. We have survived the crisis. So long as Jane doesn't find out tonight, tomorrow morning you can apologize to the phone company and they'll restore the service, and Jane will never be the wiser.
Oh, Al, you're so wonderful. You put so much confidence in my mind that it makes my head feel like the Rock of Gibraltar.
Oh, hello, Jane. Everything taken care of?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Mr. Teichman on his yacht. Of course, he's a little surprised that Richard wants him to sell, but he's given orders to unload. He just left on an overnight cruise.
Well, that takes care of that. Jane, how about going with Chicken and I to a movie tonight? On me.
On you?
Well, sure. Things look pretty good. You know, March is a long month. I get 5 unemployment checks.
All right, Al. Come in.
Excuse me for bothering you so late, girls, but I've got a terrible toothache.
Oh, that's too bad, Professor.
Oh, that Mrs. O'Reilly. I never should have made up with her. Tonight she had to bake me an angel cake. I think she left the harp in it. Janie, could I please use your phone to call the dentist?
Certainly.
You can't talk, Professor. You got a sore tooth. I'll get it for you.
Oh, thank you, Al. Circle 8884.
Right. How do you like that? That dame is still on this party line.
Oh, well, it's about time someone told her off. Hand me that phone, Al.
Hello, Jane. We'll be late for the movie.
Give it to me, Al. I'll tell her. Hello? Hello? But there's no one on here. There's not even a dial sound. This phone is dead.
How do you like that? The dame talked the life right out of it.
Poor Louis.
You quiet, chicken.
I can't understand this. Come in.
Telegram for Miss Stacy.
Oh, yes. I'll take it. Here you are, boy.
Thank you, miss.
Yeah. I wonder who it's from. Hey, it's from Richard. Unable to reach you. Phone company says your phone has been disconnected since 3 o'clock. Imperative you notify Teichman to buy. To buy? Oh, Irma. Irma, Al, don't you dare move.
I think I'll go to the dentist. A sight like this I can't take without Novocaine.
Irma Peterson. Al, how could you do a thing like this to me? To Richard? To an innocent man like Mr. Teichman who will lose a fortune?
Oh, we didn't mean it, Jane. You see, we went down to the phone company, and I started to throw my weight around, but I didn't know it would land on you.
Oh, Irma.
Well, gee, it's just one of those things, Jane. After all, it's human nature for people to make mistakes, and Chicken and me, we're always going back to nature.
Good night, Al.
Good night. Good night, Chicken.
I'm sorry, Jane.
You're always sorry. You were sorry when you cut a hole in my coat so the moths could fly out. You were sorry the time you put flypaper on the chair because I said I wanted Richard to stick around. You were sorry the time you put Paris green in the candy because St. Patrick's Day was coming. You're always sorry. Now it's too late. I'll be fired in the morning and all on account of you. Good night, Irma. Don't ever speak to me again.
Good night, Jane. Good night, Jane. Oh, she's mad at me.
Well, I'm at the office. Gotten all my things together, so when Richard comes back and fires me, it won't take me long to make an exit. Although I've refused to speak to her, Irma's followed me to the office. She's sitting here looking like a cocker spaniel who's just chewed up the rug.
Jane, I'm sorry. Will you ever forgive me?
Irma Peterson.
Miss Stacy, where's Mr. Rhinelander?
Oh, well, you see, Mr. Teichman, Mr. Rhinelander's in Nebraska, but he thought...
I know how he thought. He outthinks everybody.
Yes, but...
Everybody bought, but he was the only one who sold. I made a fortune.
You made...
It was a lucky day for me when I went with the Rhinelander Investment Company. Well, I'll see him later. I'm off to trade in my yacht. Who knows? I may even negotiate for the Queen Mary. I've made a killing. Goodbye.
Irma, I'm sorry. Will you ever forgive me?
Oh, certainly, Jane. All of us can't be bright.
You know something? Right now I'm in no position to argue with my friend Irma.
Folks, in just a moment, I'm going to tell you the names of more big winners in the $100,000 Lever Fur contest. But first, I'd like to tell you why so many women prefer Swan soap for their complexion care. It's because Swan alone has that wonderful super creamed blend. Why, even the way a cake of Swan feels tells you that it differs from other soaps. Swan has an extra smoothness you can actually feel in the cake itself. You can feel the difference in the lather, too. Swan's lather feels richer, creamier. And Swan's super creamed blend makes that Swan lather rinse away so completely that your skin glows with freshness and life. It's left softer, smoother, younger. No wonder the Swan look is a young look. And now the top winners in the fourth week of the big Lever Fur contest. First prize, Mrs. E.H. Turnock of 5721 Elwood Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You win a gorgeous $3,000 mink coat or the cash. Congratulations, Mrs. Turnock. The second prize winners are Mrs. A.J. McCracken, 1216 Elm Street, Cambridge, Ohio, Mrs. Gladys Carr, Edgewater, Maryland, Mrs. Fred B. Hooper, 135 South Grove, Albany, New York. You each win a luxurious $1,000 fur coat or the cash. Nice going. The other 325 winners in the fourth week's contest will be notified by mail. Listen next week for more winners. And now, may I present Mr. McCullough St. John's, managing editor of Radio Mirror and Photoplay magazines.
Thank you, Mr. Bingman. As a representative of the many thousands of readers of Radio Mirror magazine who have voted My Friend Irma their favorite new comedy program of 1947, I want to present these citations to Cy Howard, the creator and writer-producer-director of My Friend Irma, and to the other wonderful members of the My Friend Irma cast. Congratulations to all of you and to your sponsor, Swan Soap.
Thank you very much, Mr. St. John. We are indeed happy that our friend Irma has such a loyal following. And while the thank yous are being passed around, I'd like to make a bow to the people in our cast who have worked so hard and done so much to make the program a success. My personal thanks go to Marie Wilson and Kathy Lewis, our lovely stars, to Hans Conried, John Brown, Leif Erikson, Gloria Gordon, and Lud Gluskin for his wonderful music. And a special thank you to Park Levy, my writer colleague.
Folks, next Monday evening, listen again to
Our friend Swan.
With my friend Irma.
Frank Bingman speaking.
Spry,
Cakes are light and high.
Spry,
There's a reason why.
Spry,
Cakes improve with Spry.
rely on Spry.
Yes, there's a reason why Spry is the cake-making wonder. Spry has an amazing cake improver secret. Try the Spry one bowl way and be certain of lighter, finer, richer cakes every time. No other type of shortening has Spry's cake improver. For new cake-making success, rely on Spry, the pure all-vegetable shortening.
Rely on Spry, S-P-R-Y. Rely on Spry, S-P-R-Y.
My Friend Irma, presented by Swan, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company, was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levy. Tune in next week 1 hour earlier and listen to the Lux Radio Theater, immediately followed by My Friend Irma. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Lever Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap with the exclusive super creamed blend, presents
Our friend Swan.
With my friend Irma.
Starring Mary Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot. My friend Irma.
There's an explanation for everything. But I don't think that goes where Irma Peterson is concerned. Why do I say that? Well, a few minutes ago I told Irma that in the Arctic Circle the nights are 6 months long. And Irma said,
Gee, when a girl goes to a dance, her mother must say, be a good girl and try to get home before July.
Normally those things jolt me, but tonight I'm too busy addressing a stack of envelopes for Richard to waste any time trying to straighten Irma out.
Jane, who are you writing to?
No one we know, honey. You see, Richard is greatly interested in the primary elections, and he's coming here with a stack of election circulars he wants me to mail.
Circulars?
Yeah, you know, there's a picture of the man, and underneath it is a description of what he's done.
Oh, I know, like those pictures of Al's friends that are hanging in the post office.
No, this is a different kind of circular. You see, these men hold offices. They don't hold them up. Come in.
Well, here they are, Jane. Hello, Irma.
Hello, Richard.
I'll take the circulars, Richard. Gee, I've never seen you so excited.
Well, this is exciting and important work we're doing. If we can get the voters behind the reform ticket and elect our man, Robert Colby, this district will at long last be represented by an honest man in council.
Richard, is there any way I can help?
Yes, you can vote.
No, I can't. Those voting machines always get me so confused.
Well, honey, what's there to be confused about? All you do is press down a lever.
Yes, but I don't know where to put the nickel.
Well, I'll explain it to you later, Irma. Richard, is there anything else I can do for you?
No, just get the circulars out. I'm going down to headquarters and keep things moving. Oh, and keep spreading the word around. Colby for councilman.
All right, Richard. See you later.
Jane.
What, sweetie?
Isn't there any way I can help in the election?
No, honey. Electioneering is important work. It takes the toil of endless hours.
Well, that's why I want to help. What good is women's suffrage if I don't get a chance to suffer?
Get it, will you, honey? I'm busy.
Hello? Who's this? Joe? No, Joe, Al isn't here yet. Huh? You have a job for him? Oh, Joe, you're early. April Fool is 10 days off. Oh, you're serious? Well, I'll tell him to call you. Goodbye. What do you think, Jane? Joe has a job for Al.
How do you like that? His best friend turning on him after all these years.
Jane, can I just fold the circulars for you? I want to do something.
Well, honey, I don't want you to feel hurt, but I haven't got too much confidence in you ever since your cousin brought those campfire girls up here to hold a meeting.
Well, I thought that a log fire would make them feel at home.
Yes, honey, but we have no fireplace.
Well, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, I know, Irma, but you don't use judgment. Now, honey, look at your shoes. You paid $12 for a pair of $5 shoes. Why don't you shop around?
In the future, I will.
Well, look, honey, if you really want to help me, you can run down to the post office and get me 100 3-cent stamps.
All right, Jane, and don't worry, I won't buy at the first post office I see. I'm going to shop around.
Oh, come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Janie and Irma, my two little cottages. One with a clinging vine, one with an empty attic. Kropotkin, a man like you should have been a comedian. Janie, darling, could I borrow, please, your dark glasses?
Surely, why?
Well, if you'll excuse the expression, I'm taking Mrs. O'Reilly out tonight.
Oh, now, Professor, don't try to kid us. We know you're falling more in love with her every day.
Janie, when a man courts his landlady, this is not love. This is known as taking the bull by the horn.
Those aren't horns. That's the way Miss O'Reilly combs her hair.
Oh, hold it, will you, the two of you? I've got to get these circulars out for Richard. Irma, will you please hurry to the post office?
All right, Jane.
Now, honey, you know what to get.
Yes, a $3 stamp.
No, 100 3-cent stamps. Now, here, I'll write it down, sweetie, and don't shop around, please. Goodbye.
Janie, what's all this correspondence here?
Oh, this. Well, Richard and the Reform Party are trying to get Robert Colby elected in the primary so we can get good, honest representative and throw honest Jim Blake right out of office.
That I'm for. That honest Jim is such a crook, when he's campaigning, he couldn't kiss a baby without stealing the diaper pin.
Well, that's why we're all working so hard to get Colby in office. You know, Professor, you could help. You tell all the customers at the Gypsy Tea Room to vote for Colby for honest government.
Well, I'll tell them, Janie, but I don't think it's going to help.
Why not?
After they eat at the Gypsy Tea Room, they're not thinking of good government. They're more interested in a good doctor. Tell me, Janie, is Irma helping you elect Colby?
No.
Then he's got the chance.
Yeah. He's got to win, and honest Jim must go. Professor, how about wearing a Colby for Councilman pin?
Oh, I'd be glad to.
Here you are.
Oh.
No, Professor, not on your trousers. On your jacket.
Please, Janie, I know where the pin is needed the most. But you can count on me. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, honestly, I'll never get these circulars out. Never. Hello? Who? Oh, Joe. No, Al isn't here yet. Well, you know Monday is his busy day. That's when he stands outside of the Yankee Stadium and waits for balls to come over the fence. Yeah, I'll have him call you, Joe. Come in.
Hiya, Jane. Where's Chicken?
Oh, she went on an errand for me, Al. You know, your friend Joe's been calling like mad all day trying to get you.
That guy's uncanny. But he ain't cutting in on this deal. It's my own idea. It's a birth certificate with an adjustable calendar. For dames who are getting old.
Al, will you believe me? I'm not interested. And I'd appreciate it if you'd call Joe before he wears out the phone. If Irma comes back, I'm downstairs getting some ink from Mrs. O'Reilly. Tell her, huh?
Dynamic thing. Must be a thyroid condition. Well, while she's gone, must make that telephone call. And there's only one man to call. Who else but... Hello, Joe? Al, what is your problem? A job for me? Joe, what did I ever do that made you sore? No kidding. You mean I get $5,000 a year? Joe, it sounds too good to be honest. Oh, it ain't honest. It's a political job. Well, Joe, what sort of work do I do? You see, I couldn't take the taxpayers' money for nothing. Huh? I'll have an important duty to perform. I keep whales out of Central Park Lake. Joe, there ain't no whales in Central Park Lake. Oh, in an election year, you never ask questions. So what do I do to get the job, Joe? Uh-huh. I'd be glad to campaign for him. He's a good man. You can count on me. Goodbye, Joe.
Oh, hello, Al, honey.
Well, what's the matter, Chicken? Why so glum?
I bought these stamps for Jane.
Chicken, you got the stamps all pasted on a cardboard.
Well, the wind was blowing. I was afraid I'd lose them. Yeah, I don't know why Jane has no confidence in me.
Forget it, Chicken. Golden days are ahead. Before you know it, little Al will be making $5,000 a year.
Oh, Al, they'll catch you and destroy your printing press.
No, Chicken, you know I wouldn't be a counterfeiter. This is legitimate. We got to help elect the one man who can give us clean, decent government.
Who, Al?
Honest Jim Blake.
Oh, but Al, Jane and Richard are campaigning for Robert Colby. They say Jim Blake is a crook.
Chicken, it ain't exactly being crooked. You see, politicians figure they got to get what they can while they're in office, because the public forgets them so quickly. You take President Hoover, in office 4 years, and what's his reward? Got his name on a vacuum cleaner. and Adams got his name on a hat. Lincoln is on a penny, and Wilson is on a ham. It's enough to frustrate an honest man.
Oh, but the papers say Jim Blake is the most dishonest man that was ever in office.
Just propaganda, chicken. Look at the things he's done for the city. Take that beautiful highway he built last year.
But it cracked in 2 weeks.
Well, Jim couldn't help that. Strong weeds.
Well, how about that bridge he built? It fell down in 3 days.
Well, honest Jim couldn't help it if the rain dissolved the cement. Besides, honey, you're looking at the bad side of him. Look at the good he's done. Built his wife a beautiful home. Gave her a mink coat. Gave his brother a pardon. There's a man with a heart.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. I hate to work against Jane.
Chicken, face this thing realistically. I love you. And with 5 G's a year coming in, we can get married. And there'll be no more of those long hours going to work every day. You can get a part-time job.
You'd really marry me, Al?
Why, sure, I'd marry you, chicken. You think I like sleeping on park benches every day until 4 in the afternoon? I want to have a home to do that in.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Do you think Jane will be angry with me if I help you?
Well, chicken, you know Jane has no confidence in you.
Well, that's true. She has lost a little confidence in me. Ever since I mixed the brown and white shoe polish together for my sport shoes.
Well, what do you say, chicken? Will you help me with Honest Jim's campaign?
All right, I'll do it because I know it means you'll marry me, and it'll show Jane I'm smart enough to mix in politics, too.
That's the spirit, chicken. But remember, we don't let Jane know that we're working for the opposition. If they want to work for Colby, okay. We're for Blake.
All right, Al. Gee, I'm so excited about you and politics. Who knows? Someday you may be governor, and I'll be your wife.
Never can tell, chicken.
Imagine me, a governess.
Say, ladies, you can tell a lot about a soap just by feeling it. Next time you unwrap a cake of Swan, run your fingers over the surface. Feel how it differs from other soaps. It feels smoother. As Susie Swan says,
Swan is really different. The feel of Swan will tell you in a minute. Just feel a cake of Swan and you will see that Swan is different as can be. The reason, friend, it's super cream blend, says Susie.
yes, only Swan has this exclusive super creamed blend. That makes Swan differ from other soaps. And ladies, you can feel the difference when you run your fingers over a cake of Swan. It feels smoother. And when you take your bath, scoop up some of the luscious Swan lather. It feels different too, creamier, richer. That's why Swan does an extra mild, extra thorough cleansing job on your skin. That's why a Swan bath is such a pleasure. And what's more, Swan's exclusive super creamed blend makes Swan cleanse so gently, rinse away so thoroughly, that your skin looks smoother, fresher, younger. Yes, don't ever forget, the Swan look is a young look.
Well, the campaign for Robert Colby is just going wonderfully. I never knew life could be so hectic, but I love it. Richard and I have been working day and night, but we're too thrilled to be tired. We're going to put an honest man in office, and nothing is going to stop us. In fact, we're at a big rally now singing our campaign song.
Vote for Colby, vote for Colby. He will never fail. His election means perfection. Crooks will land in jail. Down with them. Vote for Colby, vote for Colby. He should wear the crown. So vote, friends, to throw Jim Blake right out of town.
Oh, Richard, isn't it thrilling?
Oh, yes, and I'm sure that we'll elect Colby.
Hello, Jamie.
Oh, Professor, I'm so glad you could come to the rally.
Mrs. O'Reilly stood me up.
She said I insulted her.
Why?
She wanted to go to a horse show. I told her she wouldn't have a chance.
Oh, Chicken, ain't this some rally? Boy, if Jane and Richard could only see us now, they'd know they're licked.
Al, I've been doing a lot of good work.
Yeah, what do you mean, Chicken?
Well, I think Honest Jim has been wasting his time. He's kissing all the babies, but they can't vote.
What about it?
I've been kissing their fathers.
Chicken, you don't have to overdo it. By the way, did you get rid of all those circulars I gave you?
Yeah.
Good.
And where I got rid of them, no one will ever find them.
Chicken, I meant to give them out, not hide them.
Oh, Al, isn't there anything more I can do?
No, Chicken. Don't want you to overwork your little mind.
Oh, I haven't been overworking it, honey. I hardly know it's there.
Well, Chicken, that's enough for today. You go home and don't forget, tell all your friends to vote for Blake.
All right, Al. Gee, I can't wait until you get the job and we get married. My hope chest is all ready. I just put in 6 baseballs, 3 tennis rackets, and a pair of skis.
What's the idea, Chicken?
Well, I read in a book that a wife should be a good sport.
Hi, honey. Where have you been?
Oh, places.
Places? What are you doing with that Jim Blake pin? Irma, you're not electioneering for that crook.
Well, Al says he's not so bad, and if he's elected, Al will get a job, and Al promised to marry me.
Sweetie, if I bought a box of rice every time Al promised to marry you, the Chinese wouldn't have anything left to eat.
Oh, Jane, I love Al, and I want to get married. I want children, a home, and a place to put all those statues I won at Coney Island.
I know you do, honey. But won't it bother your conscience to wake up every morning and say, Irma Peterson, you're a bad citizen?
I suppose so, but it'll bother me more to wake up every night and say, Irma Peterson, you're an old maid.
Well, honey, it's your life, and since I know Honest Jim doesn't have a chance, you can do what you want.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I want to practice what I'm going to say to the girls at the office tomorrow.
Well, there stands Irma in front of a mirror. And it's a sight that would make Patrick Henry turn over in his grave. She's evidently practicing the gestures that she's going to make in her speech. But such gestures I have never seen. Now she's shaking her fist. Now she's waving her arms in defiance. She's evidently scored her points. She's also knocked the clock off the mantel. Now she's shaking her finger and she's pointing to her head. This can only mean that Blake is solid. Now she's taken the Manhattan telephone directory and she's holding it over her head with all her strength. Irma, honey, what's the idea of that?
Well, I want to show him that Blake will carry New York.
Oh, you're ridiculous. Come in.
Hello, Jane.
Oh, Richard. Well, what's the matter? Your face is white as a sheet.
Jane, I'm afraid that all of our work has been in vain. Look at this headline.
What's it about, Richard? I'm too nervous to read it.
No, honest Jim Blake and his machine have dug up a scandal about Colby that'll cost us every woman's vote.
What was it?
Well, they claim that 18 years ago he struck his wife. And on Mother's Day.
Oh, no, it can't be true.
No, it isn't. It was just an unfortunate accident. He just happened to trip with a hammer in his hand. Yes, but Blake has distorted the story.
Oh, Richard, what can we do?
Well, I understand that Blake is addressing the heads of all the women's clubs at Sloane's Hall tonight. Now, we have to go there with Colby so he can prove his innocence.
Yeah, all right, Richard, but I'd like to inform you that we have a Benedict Arnold in our midst.
Oh, he won't help you, Jane. We've got important people, too.
Jane, you mean that Irma is campaigning for that thief, Blake?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm surprised at you. Come on, Jane. Goodbye, Irma.
Goodbye, Irma.
Vote for Jim Blake. Vote for Jim Blake. Square as sky, you know.
What's the matter, Chicken?
Richard and Jane are mad at me because I'm trying to help Jim Blake. Gosh, are you sure he's honest?
I already told you, Chicken.
Are you sure you'll marry me if I help him win?
Am I sure? Chicken, I already told 3 of the boys to stay out of trouble because I might need them for ushers.
All right, Al.
And Chicken, tonight's the night you can really help the campaign. You see, Honest Jim is going to address the women's club at Sloan's Hall tonight.
Well, that's where Jane and Richard are going.
Oh, we'll make monkeys out of them. Now, the chief wants you to come up out of the audience like you wasn't rehearsed and testify that Honest Jim is the ladies' friend. We got to swing the women's vote.
But, Al, why did they pick on me?
Chicken, there's more chance of you saying the right thing. You don't know him. I mean, they don't want anybody too professional looking. They want somebody with charm and personality and what the French call c'est la guerre.
All right, Al. I'll do it if only for our children's sake. Yeah, every time I see children, I get goose pimples. Of course, you wouldn't understand. You'll never know what it is to be a mother.
Well, Chicken, now you got the right spirit, and it'll teach Jane not to underestimate us.
That's right. She wouldn't let me on her bandwagon. Well, before I'm through, even my friends will want to take me for a ride.
Well, Chicken, this is Sloan's Hall. Now, when we get inside, it's up to you to help swing the women's vote for Honest Jim.
But, Al, when they call me up from the audience, what should I say?
Well, just say that you don't know Honest Jim personally, but people say he will undertake everything that good government stands for.
Undertake everything good government stands for? Well, that's easy. I'll remember that, Al.
Well, Chicken. And remember, my job, our whole future together depends on this. Let's go inside. Hey, Chicken, look. Richard's about to speak.
Well, Richard and Jane are for Colby and we're for Blake. I feel like that Japanese spy Harry Carey.
Shh. Richard's going to speak.
Ladies of the Metropolitan District, as you know, Honest Jim Blake has cooked up a smear campaign to besmirch the good name of our candidate, Robert Colby. And I think it is only fair that you hear the true story from his own lips. And here he is, the Honorable Robert Colby.
Ladies! Ladies, please, listen to me, please. Let the man have a chance.
Richard, they won't even let him speak.
Yes, that's Jim Blake's doing. He's got his co-workers out there to influence the other women.
Oh, Richard, you mean we have no chance?
No, nothing could win the election now, nothing.
Oh, look at that pompous crook, Honest Jim Blake. Why, he's getting up on the platform. Look how cocky he is, Richard.
You all know me, Honest Jim Blake. Thank you, lovely ladies, mothers, sisters, aunts, nieces. In fact, all of this lovely feminine pulchritude. It has been contended by my opposition that I am a thief. They will tell you I stole $1,842,000 from the taxpayers. I tell you, ladies, and I give you my solemn word, those figures are incorrect. My opponents also contend that I secured my office through acts of violence. This is not true, and my former opponent would personally deny that if he were alive today. But why should I ask you to take my word? Surely somewhere in the audience is someone who does not know me, yet knows the good that I've done.
Get ready, Chicken. That's you.
Step forward. Anyone at all? Ah, here's a charming young lady. Who are you, young lady?
I'm anybody at all.
Fine. You don't know me, young lady, do you?
No, I just know the fellow that works for you.
Mere coincidence. Now, will you tell these wonderful ladies what you think of me?
Well, now let me remember. Oh, I know. Ladies, I don't know Honest Jim personally, but I know he will take everything the government will stand for.
I'm sure this young lady is just a little nervous.
Yes, and I can't understand it. I was rehearsed so well.
Come on, chicken, run.
But Al, what about your $5,000?
You'll need that for flowers.
Trying to gather my senses. All I remember of the women's meeting was that it ended with Honest Jim chasing Irma and Al down the aisle with a fire axe. This evidently convinced the women voters that Honest Jim wasn't exactly the fatherly type, for they have elected Robert Colby to consul almost unanimously. Now Irma thinks that she's America's foremost election authority. In fact, last night I said, Irma, I see where they're talking about making MacArthur president. And Irma said,
Oh, I don't think so. Edgar Bergen would never let him go.
You know, if Bergen ever needs another dummy, he can borrow my friend Irma. The other night, I noticed Irma doing something very strange, even for her. And I said, honey, why are you putting those watercolors on top of the swan soap? And Irma said,
Well, Jane, I thought maybe the swan might want to color some of her eggs for Easter.
Oh, Irma, always being thoughtful about your swan soap. Well, that follows. Swan does a lot for you, too. Like the wonderful skin care you get, the wonderful pleasure you get when you make your bath a swan bath. You see, ladies, Swan alone has that exclusive super-creamed blend. Why, even the way a cake of Swan feels tells you that it differs from other soaps. Swan has an extra smoothness you can actually feel in the cake itself. You can feel a difference in the lather, too. Swan's lather feels richer and creamier. And after a Swan bath, your skin feels different. Because thanks to Swan's exclusive super-creamed blend, that Swan lather rinses away so completely, your skin fairly glows with freshness and life. Looks softer, smoother, younger. No wonder the Swan look is a young look. My Friend Irma, presented by Swan, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company, was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levy. Folks, next Monday evening, listen again to
Our Friend Swan.
with my friend Irma.
Starring Mary Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane. The part of Professor Kropotkin was played by Hans Conried. Ladies, listen. The shortage of fats and oils is still very serious, and it's worldwide. So please keep on saving every drop of used kitchen fat. Your butcher will pay you for every pound. Frank Bingman speaking.
Spry takes our light and high. Spry, there's a reason why. Spry takes improvements high. Rely on Spry.
Yes, there's a reason why Spry is the cake-making wonder. Spry has an amazing cake improver secret. Try the Spry one bowl way and be certain of lighter, finer, richer cakes every time. No other type of shortening has Spry's cake improver. For new cake-making success, rely on Spry, the pure all-vegetable shortening.
Rely on Spry. S-P-R-Y. Rely on Spry. S-P-R-Y.
Tune in next week 1 hour earlier and listen to the Lux Radio Theater, immediately followed by My Friend Irma. This is CBS, where 99 million people gather every week, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Lever Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap with the exclusive super-creamed blend, presents
Our Friend Swan.
With my friend Irma.
starring Mary Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Friendship, friendship, is just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot.
make 4. But I have news for you. This does not apply if you happen to live with Irma Peterson. Take the other day, Irma was in the kitchen holding a pan in her hand and doing cartwheels. So I said, honey, what's the idea of doing cartwheels while you hold that pan?
Well, the recipe says place ingredients in the pan and keep turning.
Well, I might give that a second thought, but at the present moment there's no time for it. My employer, and incidentally, the guy I love, has just phoned that he's coming over on a matter of great importance, and I can't imagine what it can be. Irma?
Yes, Jane?
What do you think Richard has on his mind? What's the matter, sweetie? You're crying.
He's going to propose. Now I'll be all alone with just Al. I'll have nobody.
Honey, don't be ridiculous.
Oh, please, Jane, I've seen it coming. The last 2 times Richard was here, he had that dizzy look in his eyes.
That was only because you were engaging him in conversation. Irma, I refuse to let your imagination run away with the 2 of us. Now, that must be Richard. Now, don't let him know that we were discussing anything personal.
I won't.
Okay. Come in.
Hello, Jane. Hello, Irma.
Hello, Richard.
Oh, Richard, we were just talking about you.
Oh, me?
Oh, it was nothing personal. We were just wondering if you came over to propose.
Irma!
You know, Richard, you'll make a wonderful father.
Irma, will you please go in the kitchen and dry the dishes?
But they're dry.
Well, wet them and dry them over.
Irma, I have something personal that I'd like to discuss with Jane.
Oh, I knew I was right. Something told me. I guess it's my feminine institution.
You'll just have to forgive this outburst, Richard. You understand Irma.
No, I don't. But then again, who does? Well, Jane, I've just been on the phone to Washington. You know that block of war surplus buildings that I discussed with you?
Yeah?
Well, the group that I represent feels that they'd make a wonderful recreation center for New York's underprivileged children.
Oh, but Richard, don't you think other interests would want to grab them for commercial purposes?
Yes, that's the great danger. But if I can see Senator McLean in Washington tomorrow, I'm sure that we can swing this recreation project for the children before the others even know what's happening.
You know, Richard, Irma was right. You would make a wonderful father.
Well, that's an entirely different sort of project. Jane, I'm leaving for Washington in the morning and just for the day, and I'd like you to come along.
Oh, I'm practically packed.
And I'll help you finish, Jane.
Irma, were you listening at the door?
Oh, just when it's so important that my trip be kept a secret, too.
Oh, I'll keep it a secret. Oh, gee, Jane, I'd love to go to Washington.
Oh, but, sweetie, this is a business trip.
Oh, but I've never been to Washington. Everyone goes there. Even my graduating class went there.
Why didn't you go?
I didn't have anything to wear. Besides, I didn't graduate. Oh, please, Richard, can't I go with you and Jane?
Well, all right, Irma. I don't mind taking one extra along, and, well, seeing Washington might prove very educational for you.
Oh, you're right. Now I'll be able to see for myself the difference in the electricity down there.
The difference in electricity?
Yes, New York is AC, but Washington is DC.
Honey, that means District of Columbia.
Listen, Irma, I don't mind taking you along, but remember that this matter must be kept an absolute secret. This is what we call top-drawer stuff.
Don't worry, I'll pack everything.
Jane, will you call American Airlines and then try to get reservations at the Statler Hotel for me?
All right, Richard, I will.
I'll see you later. Goodbye, girls.
Bye, Richard.
Goodbye. Oh, Jane, I'm so excited.
Well, I'm glad, honey. But remember now, no one is to know that Richard is going to Washington.
Oh, just have confidence in me, Jane. I think I'll get out my suitcase and pack.
Well, there stands Irma packing for her trip to Washington. Such packing you have never seen. She's using the bag that Al gave her for Christmas. Al says it's airplane luggage. To me, it looks like it was dropped from 10,000 feet. Now Irma's putting in the things she'll need. Now she's opening the bag and putting in the largest purse I have ever seen. I suppose that's because she's heard that in Washington everyone passes the buck. But now here's something I can't understand. Irma, why are you taking along your old X-ray pictures?
Well, the doctor says I'm all right, but I still want to have them checked by the Secretary of the Interior.
Oh. Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Oh, girls, I'm so shaken. What an experience I just had.
What happened?
I was standing on the corner and a gas station blew up. So I ran across the street. As soon as I got there, a great big electric sign falls down from the explosion. So I ran across to the other side. I'm no sooner on the sidewalk than one of the gas pumps comes down and just misses my head. So I ran to the next corner.
Oh, that's dreadful. Was there a policeman around?
Yeah, I got 3 tickets for jaywalking. What a day. Irma, darling, what are you doing with that suitcase?
I'm going to Washington with Jane and Richard.
Oh, Irma, why must you broadcast everything?
Washington. Janie, do you think it'd be possible for me to come along?
Oh, well, Professor, this is a business trip, and
Well, I'll tell you what's on my mind. As you know, I have slowly been developing a liking for Mrs. O'Reilly.
Yes, we know. We're thrilled about it.
Yeah, but we still fight day and night. Now, I have heard that a different environment often makes a change in people. So I was thinking, since you're going to Washington, I would take Mrs. O'Reilly along. Of course, I realize the danger. I'm liable to walk her past the Smithsonian Institute, and I'll never see her again.
Well, Professor, I can't invite you to join us. You see, Richard's going on a highly confidential type of business, and I just haven't the right to.
Oh, I understand, Jenny. Have a nice trip, girls. Mrs. O'Reilly and I can wait. Someday I'll take her to the petrified forest. Maybe there she'll look a little younger. Goodbye.
Well, Jane, I've almost finished packing. Oh, Jane, have you seen that large envelope Al left here?
You mean that petition he sent weeks ago to his congressman?
Yes, maybe while we're in Washington we can get somebody interested in it.
Irma, I have read that petition, and believe me, it has no chance. Congress will never raise the unemployment check to $300 a week. Come in.
Hello, Jane. Hiya, chicken.
Hello, Al, honey. Oh, Jane and I are getting ready to go to Washington with Richard tomorrow.
Oh, Irma, I just got through telling you it's a secret, honey.
Going to Washington, huh? Too bad you can't stick around in my moment of triumph. My greatest deal.
Is it anything like your last one? You know, pumping up cranberries and selling them for apples?
No, sir. This one is a blessing to young lovers. A money-saving sofa.
A money-saving sofa?
Uh-huh. It's got a built-in mallet. And when you're sitting there with your girl, you step on a pedal, and the mallet knocks out her kid brother who's hiding there waiting to blackmail you for a quarter. Great, huh, Chicken? Chicken, why do you look so depressed?
Oh, well, I'm going to miss you when I'm in Washington.
I'm going to miss you, too, Chicken. Don't like the idea of you being on the loose in Washington. In that confused state that you're always in, you're liable to wind up in some high government position.
And I won't have a good time if you're not with me.
Feel the same way, Chicken. Don't like it when you're away. Too much temptation for a young man when he's alone in this town. Pretty girls giving me the come on. I'm only human. How long can a guy stand in the corner tilting pinball machines?
Now, listen, the two of you. If all this is for my benefit, you're just wasting your time. This is a business trip, not a convention for the Lonely Hearts Club.
Oh, but Jane, we won't be in your way. I know. I'll go with Al, and the professor can take Miss O'Reilly.
And we'll meet you when your business is finished.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Richard always stops at the Statler in Washington. You can meet us there at 5.
That's the spirit, Jane. And Irma, since I'm your escort, I want one thing understood.
What, Al?
As long as I'm taking you, I insist on paying my own way.
Irma, do you ever get the feeling that you're running around with Diamond Jim Brady?
Oh, Jane, you just don't see Al the way I do. I know he has no money or job or future, but I think for a failure he's very successful.
Thank you, Chicken. Well, I'll break the good news to the professor, and I better start packing. What am I talking about packing? Everything I own, I'm wearing. Well, so long, chicken. See you later.
Oh, Al, aren't you going to kiss me?
Okay, chicken. Here.
Al, why do you always glance from side to side while you're kissing me?
An old movie habit. Keep looking around for the usher. Well, see you later, chicken.
Oh, gee, Jane, you're making so many people happy with this trip.
Thanks, sweetie. But remember now, you're the only one who knows why Richard's going to Washington. And if anybody finds out, those kids will never have a recreation center.
Oh, please, Jane, I won't say anything. You yourself have often said when I open my mouth, nothing comes out.
Yeah. All right, honey. I'll pack as soon as I get back from the beauty parlor. I better hurry. See you, honey.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Stanley Adams of the International Press. I understand this is the home of Richard Rhinelander's secretary. Are you she?
She? No, I'm not she. This is me. Irma Peterson.
Oh, well, could I speak to Miss Stacy?
Well, she just went out. Why don't you call when we come back from Washington?
Oh, so you're going to Washington. With Mr. Rhinelander, I suppose?
Look, don't pump me, because I'm not going to tell you about Senator McLean and the underprivileged children.
Well, I guess there's nothing more to be said. Got to make the 9 o'clock edition. Goodbye.
Goodbye. You'll have to get up early in the morning to fool me, and even then I'm not awake.
Say, ladies, did you know that you can tell a lot about a cake of soap just by feeling it? Well, you can. Sure, the next time, run your fingers over a cake of Swan soap. Feel how it differs from other soaps. As Susie Swan says,
Swan is really different. The feel of Swan will tell you in a minute. Just feel a cake of Swan and you will see that Swan is different as can be. The reason, friend, it's super cream blend, says Susie.
yes, ladies, Swan is the only soap that can give you this exclusive super creamed blend for your complexion care. And when you use Swan, you can tell there's a difference just by feeling that firm white cake. It feels smoother. And when you wash your face, when you smooth that luxurious Swan lather on your skin, you'll see that it feels different, too. Swan lather feels richer, creamier. Swan lather does an extra mild, extra thorough cleansing job on your skin. Yes, thanks to Swan's super creamed blend, Swan cleanses so gently, then rinses away so completely, your face looks smoother, fresher, younger. It's true, ladies, the Swan look is a young look.
Richard and I have just arrived in Washington, and so far, so good. In a way, I'm happy that Irma and Al and the professor and Mrs. O'Reilly won't bother us for a few hours yet. I know I'd have a dreadful time explaining the sites of interest to Irma. I've already described the Lincoln Memorial to her. Despite everything I say, she still can't understand why Lincoln had to live in a log cabin when he had such a beautiful building available. Hello. Yes? Well, my name is Miss Stacy. Yes, I'm Mr. Rhinelander's secretary. We're trying to contact Senator McLean. Oh. Well, I'll try again.
No luck, Jane?
Same story, Richard.
I don't know what to think. Say, do you suppose someone else might have gotten to the senator before us?
Oh, no, Richard, I don't see how. Irma's the only one who knows anything about it, and I'm sure she's kept it a secret. That is, I'm as sure as you ever can be about Irma. I wonder who that could be. Come in. Oh, no. It's the four of you.
Yes, it's us, Jane.
Hello, Jamie.
Hiya, Rich.
Hello, Al.
Hello, folks. I thought you weren't to join us until 5 o'clock.
Oh, but you didn't say a.m. or p.m., and we didn't want to be late. Are you angry, Jane?
Oh, no, honey, but Richard can't contact Senator McLean. Irma, are you sure you didn't tell anyone?
Oh, you know me better than that.
Well, there's one more contact I can try. A friend of my father's. I'll be back soon, Jane.
Oh, Jane, we've been having such fun visiting the places of interest.
Yeah, but not having much luck. Walked around the Mint 4 times. The windows were open, but the wind was blowing the wrong way.
That's too bad, Al, and you couldn't get any samples.
Just one of them breaks. Tell me, Jane, is Richard really having trouble contacting the senator?
Oh, he's tried everything.
Well, when you're in a spot like this, there's only one man to call.
Who, Al?
Who else but... Hello, Joe. Al. Yeah, heard you were in Washington. How'd you do? No luck, huh? They won't make hijacking legal.
Oh, Al, stop wasting time.
Hold it, Jane. Never can tell. Joe got a problem. Want to contact a senator. Now, who of the Washington senators do you know? Who? Plays second base. No, Joe. Not them senators. The kind that don't play ball. You know a Senator McLean? Oh, you don't? What's your hurry, Joe? You got a pose for the government? Oh, they're taking your fingerprints. Well, thanks for trying, Joe. Goodbye.
You don't have to tell us, Al. We'll just wait and see what Richard accomplishes. Have some candy, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Oh, thank you, Janie. This has been such a delightful trip. The professor's been so flattering. He keeps admiring me dress.
Oh. Well, it is unusual.
Thank you. It was my grandmother's wedding gown. It's what they call colonial style.
Yes, and there's room enough in the back for Benjamin Franklin to fly his kite.
Oh, isn't he the kidder? When we were at the statue of George Washington, the guide said, "This is the father of our country." And the professor pointed to me and said, "Meet his mother."
Well, I'm glad you're all having fun. Especially you, Professor.
Well, Janie, this trip is a blessing. Mrs. O'Reilly and I have never gotten along so well. You know, it's a funny thing. When I first saw Mrs. O'Reilly, I said, I wouldn't go near that old crow. And here I am, a bird fancier.
Oh, Professor, you make me feel like a girl again.
How do you like that? In 1 minute, I knocked off 100 years. Seriously, Mrs. O'Reilly, the reason I'm getting to like you is because we see more eye to eye. Like when we visited Congress, you said the Republicans were saving this country.
I said no such thing. I said the Democrats were saving it from the Republicans.
Now, wait a minute. You mean to stand there and tell me that the Democrats ever had one man to compare with Dewey?
Well, I don't think he should be president just because he once captured Manila.
Keep out of this, Irma. Mrs. O'Reilly, you mean I brought you down here all the way to Washington to find out you're a Democrat?
And what's wrong with being a Democrat? I happen to know a few things about these matters.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Look, Mrs. O'Reilly, don't think you know everything about politics just because you helped Betsy Ross make the flag.
Why, you old broken-down fiddle player, you.
Me you call broken down? By Humpty Dumpty with 6 unions couldn't put you together again.
Why, you...
Go ahead, say it.
For goodness sakes, please, we'll be thrown out of the hotel.
Well, she's not going to talk to me that way. I'm getting out of here.
And so am I. And, Professor, if you ever dare talk to me again, I'll split your ticket. I'm going.
Oh, please, all of you, please.
Jane.
Richard, you're white. What's wrong?
Look at this newspaper headline.
Let me see it. Richard Rhinelander arrived in Washington to negotiate for purchase of a group of war surplus buildings. Oh, how awful. Oh, who could have...
The article is bylined by a New York reporter, Stanley Adams.
Oh, what a coincidence. That's a nice young man who phoned me.
Irma. Oh, no. You didn't tell him Richard was coming to Washington.
Well, I didn't say on what plane.
Oh.
Chicken, I know you're the champ at messing things up. But what are you trying to do, make the Olympic team?
I didn't mean anything.
Oh, Irma, now the whole recreation project is ruined. Someone else will beat us to it.
No, it's not my pride that matters. It's just all those kids.
I don't know why you all have to pick on me. Other people do things wrong. After all, this is Washington.
Now, honey, there's no sense in crying over spilt milk.
Go ahead, blame that on me, too. Goodbye, all of you.
I think I'd better go after her. If she ever gets in that Pentagon building, she'll be 60 years old before we find her.
No, Al, let her walk it off. She'll feel better.
Well, I guess we can catch the next train. There's no sense in trying to see the senator now.
Everyone picks on me. My best friends, even Al. Wait until the next time he wants a dance or a date. I'll say, listen, you, I'm through, and it won't do you any good to come crawling to me on your knees.
Lady, can I help it if I'm short?
Sorry. I was talking to myself. Oh, what's this place? The Ford Theater. Oh, mister,
Yes, miss?
what's playing here?
Playing. Madam, this is the Ford Theater. It's now a national museum. Here is where Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth. Now, would you like to go in?
No, thank you. I'd rather wait until the picture changes.
Well, Al, did you find her?
No, and I've been all over. I went out to Mount Vernon. I think she might have been there because they said a blonde girl dropped in, said she wanted a pound of Martha Washington candy.
Oh, Al, we've already missed our train. Shall we call the police?
Don't like to do business with people out of town. Let's wait.
What's the matter, lady? Are you lost?
No, I just want to sit here and think about what I've done to those poor children.
Well, how many children have you?
Thousands.
What?
And they're underprivileged. I mean, they're not mine. What's the difference?
Pardon me, officer.
Oh, good afternoon, Senator.
I was sitting on the next bench. I couldn't help but overhear the young lady.
Well, she doesn't make much sense to me. Maybe you better talk to her. Good day, Senator.
Good day. May I sit down, miss?
If you want to. Say, did that office call you, Senator?
That's right.
Well, what are you doing here?
Why, I like it here. It's my only chance to get away from people who keep pestering me for their own selfish wants. Have you ever been to Washington before, miss?
No.
What have you seen so far?
Well, I saw the theater where Lincoln drove his Ford into a booth.
I beg your pardon?
Well, what's the difference? You wouldn't like the picture. Then I went out to Mount Vernon.
Yes?
They don't have any candy.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, and I saw Washington's monument.
Quite high, isn't it?
Yes, I wonder how he got down when he finished it.
Just a moment, miss. I've never run into anyone quite, start slowly. Now, where are you from?
My home is in New York. I don't think I can give you my name or phone number because I'm going around with Al.
Al?
Yes. I'm angry at him. You see, I came down here with Richard Rhinelander about some underprivileged children.
Richard Rhinelander?
Yes, Senator. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you by your first name. But, gosh, it's so nice of you to talk to me like this. I miss my mother and father so.
Well, are they dead?
No, they're married. Well, I better be running along, sir. Goodbye. everybody?
Oh, honey, for goodness sakes, where have you been?
Oh, nowhere in particular, just killing time. Talking to a nice man.
Oh, well, I'm relieved. We've been waiting for you. Well, come on, Richard. We're set.
All right, let's go. Oh, that darn phone. Hello?
Mr. Rhinelander?
Yes?
This is Senator McLean.
Oh, yes, Senator. Well, I've been trying to reach you all day.
Well, I thought it was another favor seeker, but now I know differently. I see your message here, and I want you to have those buildings for the Children's Recreation Center.
Well, Senator, I'm overwhelmed. But to what do we owe this sudden decision?
Well, I ran into a young lady who said she was a friend of yours, a blonde.
A blonde? Well, hey, that must be Irma.
I don't know how she got that way. But we must never let it happen to any other New York child. The deal is yours. Goodbye.
Last night I found Irma putting all our bars of Swan soap in the sewing basket. Well, naturally, I was curious, so I said, "Why, honey?" And Irma said,
"Well, you see, Jane Spring is coming. Maybe the swan wants to make a nest."
Well, Irma, you certainly take good care of your Swan soap. And why not? Swan takes good care of you, too. Sure, Swan likes nothing better than to give you a wonderful complexion care. And ladies, that's just what you get when you wash your face with Swan. Because Swan and Swan alone has that exclusive super creamed blend. Why, even the way a cake of Swan feels tells you it differs from other soaps. Swan has an extra smoothness you can actually feel in the cake itself. And when you smooth Swan's soft, creamy lather on your face, you can feel a difference in the lather, too. It feels richer, creamier. And then when you're through washing your face, your mirror will show you what Swan Super Creamed Blend does for your skin. It looks softer, smoother, younger. No wonder the Swan look is a young look. My Friend Irma, presented by Swan, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company, was produced by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levy, and starred Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane. The part of Professor Kropotkin was played by Hans Conried. Friends, we all know that the Red Cross has a bigger job to do than before the war. Did you know, for example, that today the program for veterans alone is nearly 12 times greater? For the armed forces, nearly 5 times greater? Well, those are a few of the facts, a few of the really serious problems the Red Cross must meet. Yes, this year the Red Cross needs $75 million to bring help and relief to millions of people. So please give generously. Frank Bingman speaking.
Spry.
Cakes are light and high.
Spry.
There's a reason why.
Spry.
Cakes improve with Spry.
Rely on Spry.
Yes, there's a reason why Spry makes grand cakes. Spry has an amazing cake improver secret. Try the Spry one bowl way and be sure of lighter, finer, richer cakes every time. No other type of shortening has Spry's cake improver. For new cake-making success, try Spry, the pure all-vegetable shortening.
Rely on Spry. S-P-R-Y. Rely on Spry. S-P-R-Y.
Tune in next week 1 hour earlier and listen to the Lux Radio Theater, immediately followed by My Friend Irma. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.